Most of us are exhausted after this draft weekend. Well, I am, and I imagine Ryan Poles is too. But he does not sleep. Sleep is for the weak. After drafting 10 players this weekend, he has signed 8 more undrafted free agents in the last couple of hours. I will quickly go over each player he signed. Let's get right into it. First up is defensive end Jalen Harris from Arizona. He's a 6'4", 258-pound edge prospect. That's right, Poles did sign a defensive end. He's athletic with good size and burst off the line of scrimmage. His RAS score is an 8.65, and he has over 34-inch arms. He needs to add power and improve his pass rush technique if he wants to stick in the NFL, but he does have some talent. For a 5-year starter, he's still pretty raw, though. Next up is Gabe Huey, a 6'6", 300-pound offensive tackle prospect from Pittsburgh. He is a violent and heavy-handed prospect who is just an average athlete. His RAS score is a 4.45, but he is a nice mover for a guy his size, but his 32-inch arms lead me to believe Poles brought him in to try him out at guard, not tackle. Robert Burns from Connecticut is a 5'11", 222-pound fullback prospect who scored an 8.79 on the RAS score. He was the second-rated fullback for most scouts in this entire class. We do have Kari Blasingame, but Burns is here to bring in competition. Macon Clark is a 5'11", 200-pound safety prospect with a 6.48 RAS score. He had 63 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles for Tulane this year. He's a smart player who's probably more of a special teams addition, but I wouldn't count him out just yet. Then we got our kicker, Andre Smith, a hometown kid who grew up in Vernon Hills, Illinois. He is Syracuse's all-time leader in points after starting since his redshirt freshman year. He has a big leg and hit 4 field goals over 50 yards, third most in school history. He was 44 for 48 inside 40 yards and 4 for 6 from 50 plus. He's a former All-American and 2-time ACC selection with a strong leg and good accuracy. He isn't the prospect that Jake Moody was, but he was my number 2 ranked kicker in this class. Nice job, Poles. Hopefully this guy can beat out Cairo Santos. Next up is Micah Baskerville out of LSU. He's the biggest name on the list. He had an up-and-down career at LSU, where at times he looked like a top draft prospect, and other times he played so poorly he got benched. He's a versatile and experienced 6 foot, 220-pound linebacker. He was a core special teams player at LSU his entire career. I think that's the biggest thing to note here. He has good football IQ, but he's just an average athlete and needs to bulk up if he wants to stick in the NFL. He has the potential to be a backup middle linebacker, but his upside is limited. I think he's a special teams player, but could be a core special teams guy. Justin Broyles out of Oklahoma was a 5th-year senior who played mostly safety. He had 3 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, and 2 fumble recoveries the last 2 years. He looks like a backup and special teamer to me. He didn't have an RAS score or many highlights. Lastly, the 8th undrafted free agent we signed was Shepherd QB Tyson Vagin. You should remember him from the Senior Bowl. His dad was the guy who was arm wrestling people on the sideline, the former arm wrestling champion. It made for a good story at the Senior Bowl. Luke Getsy also mentioned Vagin a few times and said he specifically wanted him on the national squad. He wanted a small school guy with some moxie. That's Getsy's take on this guy. I watched him all week at the Senior Bowl, and he wasn't awful. He had some good moments, and he could be our QB3. I don't know how much upside he has, but he has nice size and athleticism. He's 6'3", 213 pounds with a 9.16 RAS score. He threw for exactly 5,000 yards with 53 touchdowns and 13 interceptions last year at small school Shepherd University. Vagin is a gamer. He's tough and competitive, and obviously Getsy saw something in him he likes. He's not slow either. He ran a 4.740. Those are the 8 players Poles signed in undrafted free agency after drafting 10 players this weekend. In total, 18 new Chicago Bears have been added in the last 72 hours. I'll be covering this draft class non-stop over the next few weeks, but today I wanted to tell you guys about these undrafted free agents. Tyson Vagin is probably my favorite guy on the list, although I really like Andre Smith, the kicker, as well. Other than that, I think it's mostly backup or special teams guys, but there was a little bit of potential on the list. I don't know if I saw Jack Sanborn yet, though. But Poles is not done. He will bring in more free agents as well. Last year, Jack Sanborn wasn't brought in until about a week into May. So he will continue signing some undrafted free agents throughout the week. I will update you guys when we sign new players and have some breakdowns on those guys. I did see that Ivan Pace, one of the guys I really liked, went to Minnesota. I'm honestly mad at the Vikings right now. They also picked up my guy, defensive end Andre Carter, also went to the Vikings. Wasai done a good job in free agency, adding both Ivan Pace and Andre Carter. Nice job. Isaiah Land, another guy I really liked, went to the Dallas Cowboys. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be back. Remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.